Hello, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be able to have your presence in this very hour. I'm going to go as fast as I can because your time is of great value. But here we're talking about how to unlock the year of Jubilee. For most of you are very familiar with this story, or you've heard the word the year of Jubilee, but most of you and some of you probably have proclaimed such year occasionally in your lifetime. And you might be the witnesses of that result. But in this particular episode here, or particularly this webinar, I'm going to walk you through very fast in a simple way how you can actually activate the year of Jubilee as it's encoded in this very scripture in the book of Leviticus 25th. Actually, to me, the other day as I was reading it again, it just popped up that the book, the chapter that is talking about this year of Jubilee in great depth, it's Leviticus chapter 25, and we are in the year 2025. Coincidence or not, but here we are, and let's make it happen. What you're going to learn here, I would encourage you to grab a piece of paper and pen, your notebook, or if you can fire up your cell phone, whatever the tool you're using, so that you can kind of capture the information that we're going to go in. It's going to be a faster one, but don't worry. If you cannot capture all of that and it doesn't seem to be quite of an understanding on your part, you need more guidance and everything else. Beyond this very webinar, I've put together an additional challenge because once you have this information, then what next? So I have a challenge. I've put together a 30-day challenge on how you can actually, step by step, you're going to go through that process on how you can claim this very year, this very moment as your year of freedom. Free from anxiety, free from headache, free from debt, free from uncertainty, free from all the things that at one time have become a huge burden in your life. That being said, I just want to again extend my gratitude for each one of you. And as part of this package in this very short period of time here, I'm going to introduce a framework that I have come up together that will allow you to be able to activate, to unlock. Actually, I like the word unlock because it's not like it is out there. It is right with you. And it's a matter of you to just unlock it and you can experience that which is behind that which is locked, which is the year of Jubilee itself. So we're going to turn quickly in the book of Leviticus. I am not going to read step word by word. I know you have on your own time, you can be able to reference to it. But this particular scriptures is broken into two parts. There's a first part where it's called the preparation period. And then the second part is the Jubilee itself, the year of Jubilee. And the first part is beginning from the verse 1 all the way to verse 7. And then from verse 8 all the way to verse 12, it reveals, and the 13th actually declares that to become the year of Jubilee, and it reveals what will happen in that very year. Truth be told, if you follow each and every instruction provided there, I think many people will think you're crazy. And if you are waiting until you are age 49 to declare that year of Jubilee, that you are saying for somebody like me who's about to hit 50, I have messed it up, I would think you are crazy as well. And also, we will think of the same thing of the Bible that when it was written, the person was writing for people when they were young. And what about those who are already at age 50? And so there's this thing that we got to look at the Bible at a closer eye, right? Just not read this text and stuck to it, because Paul told us the letter, which means as it is written in terms of what happened, kills, but the spirit gives lives. And today we're going to talk about the spirit. Last conversation I had this seminar here, I talked about how the scripture was written, especially the book of law, and how the Hebrew believe it was delivered. I'm just going to run there very quick. They talk about the Bible, especially the book of the laws by Moses, were given to Moses as a secret. And Moses knew the secret. But Moses went out and shared that secret with Aaron. But after he shared the secret with Aaron, there was another layer that was built there. And actually, there is a word used in describing what was happening. So it is said that first, there's a word called pashat, which is the plain language. So the general mass, which is all the Israelites at the time, were given Pashat. Pashat means plain language, the letter of this conversation, which is what happened. So we read in the Leviticus here what had happened. It's simply just telling us what has happened, and that was told to each and every person in general. Then there's a second layer, it's called remez. This is the hinted meaning. The hinted meaning was given to the elders. Remember, there was the general people, which everybody else, there was the elders, there was the children of Aaron, and there was Aaron himself, and then Moses. Those were the layers of how this information was provided. So Ramirez was only given to the elders. That's the second layer. It's not the highest, but it's highest of the lowest. And this talks about where it happened. It reveals certain things about where things happen. And then there is a third layer. It's called, that third layer is reference. I coin it to be how it happened, meaning that you're going to learn of how it happened. And today, it's similar to when you take when I'm telling you a scripture, I'm telling you one verse and I'm connecting to another verse. So I'm making this connection. It providing the how to. But in Hebrew, actually, the word there that is used is something else. It's called drash, which means relative meaning. So, and though people who were given the relative meaning of the law, which is among them is the book of Leviticus, were the children of Aaron. So different group of people were given different content of the very law or the scripture itself. And then there is why it happened, where the scriptures answer the question of why. And this is where Paul called it the Spirit gives life. This is the highest level of the scripture's meaning. And in Hebrew, it's called sad. S-O-D, sad, actually, sad, means secret or mystical meaning. Meaning that now you're getting the meat of what these scriptures meant as God gave it to Moses. This is how the traditionally Hebrew understand the law as it was given. And in fact, to this very day, this sector exists within the Hebrew culture or the elite, and information are given to that level. There is the secret, which are the highest information of all, which is the spiritual. That's why Paul said the spirit gives life, but the letter kills. Unfortunately, for most of us, have never stepped into the mystical side. And actually, in the time of Moses, we're told it was a curtain. You have to enter the curtain. Only the high priest was allowed to enter the curtain. And that's what it really means. Only few people are allowed to press beyond the veil. Remember, the curtain sits as a veil. And then beyond the veil, there is a secret. And today, we are going beyond the veil. So prepare yourself to enter beyond the curtain, and you are the very high priest. You don't need to be ordained. You don't need to be given to be poured water. None of that. You are going to enter this very place of greatness, which you're going to learn about the secret of this very scripture. And in this idea, actually, one rabbi, I like this rabbi, he said, the scriptures, he called the Torah, of course, the law, said the scriptures is not about the history book. Neither is not about people who lived at a particular time in a particular lifespan. It is about your story, your journey, this very day. So if we can take that content as true, then Sabbath, that it is written here, it's about you. It's not about a particular group of people. And Paul providing that hint in his own letters, where he's revealing us who is referencing as the Israelites. You are the very Israelites in the very story. We are told Jacob his name was changed to Israel. So how do you become an Israelite in this very story? Simple. Jacob, it is he who fought against man and God and won. A person who persevere in their journey of becoming something greater as are the what who are called the Israelites. So it's not specifically about the people of Israel today. It's about you who is striving to become better than the best you've ever been. You are the very person this Writings were written to instruct you how you can actually become that very person you're persevering to become. So, not saying so much, I'm going to turn back to these very scriptures. I said it is broken into two parts. So, the first part is about the Sabbath year. And we know that the Sabbath means the day of rest. That's what it really means, but it have a deeper meaning. From the letter point of view, it's a day of rest. If you can continue to exhibit the day of rest as a Sunday, or some people will celebrate it as Saturday, that's for they call it the people who drinks the milk. He said, those who drink the milk will have it, but those who want have the teeth for the meat, meaning that those who are willing to go beyond the curtain, the Sabbath, it have a different meaning to them. So Sabbath, as we're told in the story of the Genesis, in the book of Genesis, God rests on the seventh day. Seventh means rest, but it's not about a day or a particular period of time that you have to work harder. Rest means peace. It is a period of peace. In your life today, you are restless in search of something. But when you have that which you are in search of, if you do it consistent with the scriptures, you will find rest. So you have entered a day of rest. That's what actually it's all about. So today I might be restless for having water. I'm like looking, and my throat is looking, and my mind, my body is kind of restless. I'm searching for water. It will be said, I am on the sixth day, meaning that I am working in search for water. I find water and I'm like, okay, oh, or maybe I see a bottle of water is not far from me there. And by the moment I see it, I find that peace in me that, guess what? Whew, I can drink this water. There is a peace. I've entered a place of rest. I don't have to drink that water. The moment I agree that there is water, I'm going to be at this place of rest. So that is Sabbath, the day of rest, and I'm going to drink this water. Guess what? I'm no longer going to be restless because I have drunk the water that I needed. And that's what it really, if we take it from practical perspective, forget about these days. If it was true, those people who are celebrating the day of rest on Sunday or on Saturday, their life would have been much peaceful. But we know most of the dramas, like in Hollywood and everywhere else, is nowhere other than the church itself. And there's nothing wrong having those drama. It's just demonstrating that people are still in search despite of observing the physical Sabbath. So there must be more to the story beyond that which is physical. And here we are trying to break it down. So the first part is the Sabbath, and the second part is the Jubilee. And all of those things in life have to come one after the other. And this is true about your life today if you want to experience the peace in your mind. You know, there's many ways we can achieve things. And Jesus said, those who comes not through me to the Father are thieves and robbers. At any moment, I'm going to put it clear. If you're in search of something, and the moment you are in a possession of it and you're still not at peace, not because you have it or you don't have it, you're not at peace because maybe you're afraid you're going to lose it, or you're not you're concerning about how you're going to maintain that which you have. Guess what? You are nothing but a thief and a robber because you have obtained it in an illegal manner. What is it in illegal? Meaning that you did not follow the very principle that are prescribed in these very scriptures. That's why you have people who are very successful in our own eyes in terms of they've acquired knowledge and understanding, they've gone to school and have done all these things, but yet they are not at peace. The other day I was reading a story of a young man. He's just, I think, 32, I believe. He's an influencer. He's been talking about mental health. He's a physical fitness machine. He's been working out, showcasing how he's doing it. He's doing a lot of things. He has significant amount of number of followers. But the guy just passed away through suicide earlier last week or so. Very successful by all means, and many people would have liked to have his life. But there he was struggling. He have obtained all of these things, the success that we have seen, the followers. I mean, he came out of nothing to become somebody in the social media. And yet he was restless. He struggled with mental illness. He struggled, and there's nothing saying that he did something bad. It's just showing you these principles are relevant. That's just an example I came across the other day, actually earlier today. But there are many other people who are struggling each and every day. Most of you probably who are watching might not be sleeping. You need a pill to sleep. You need to have an alcohol, a liquor to sleep. You need to have some controlled substance to even to rest. Despite your success, there's this concept I've heard, and I think it's very fascinating that we're sacrificing our health in order to earn wealth. Just that when we gain the wealth, we can spend to the health that we have sacrificed, the health that you no longer have. It is insanity. It's insane, but we are doing that every single day. Not because we are stupid, because we don't know the principle. And today I just want to kind of bring you in to understand this principle so that you can be able to create a lifestyle that actually is consistent with your interest. That being said, we're going to start there. The story, it gives us a setting. The story begins with, we're told, the Lord said to Moses at Mount Sinai. That is a very, very crucial statement in understanding what this is all about. It gives us a setting of how this journey begins. There are characters here and places where these characters are playing their role. The first character, I'm using the word character not to minimize what the scripture is saying, but for the purpose of creating picture in your mind to have an understanding. The first character is the Lord. And the second character is Moses. And then this dialogue is happening in Mount Sinai. So I'm going to bring it into perspective into your own life. Right now, I want you just to think quickly, what is the thing that is bothering you the most in your life? Just quickly think of that. What is the thing that is bothering you the most? If God shows up and say, what break should I give it to you? What will you say you want a break from? What do you want to break from? You no longer want to be in possession or associated with. So you have this thing that is bothering you. It is not pleasant in your presence. This thing that is bothering you is what is called Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai symbolizes a thorny bush, something that is not pleasant in your life. So you're in a place that is not pleasant in your life, and Moses is he who was drawn out of water. But it's not any water, it's River Nile. In Hebrew, River Nile means the river of light. The river of light means understanding. So you are in this very thorny place. So that's where you are. Life does not feel comfortable. You are not restful. You are restless. It is this very thorny place. So this thorny place you are, therefore you are said to be, guess what? You are in Mount Sinai today. Your life, no matter where it is, you're not in a physical mountain, but you are in an experience equal to that mountain. It's a thorny place. You are very thorny. Things are poking you. You are restless. You're not comfortable with yourself. You wish you can have a break, and you're not having the break you're looking for. You are in Mount Sinai. So that's number one. Number two, we're told Moses, this understanding, enlightenment. So you have this understanding that you're looking at your environment, but you want to have that break and not knowing how to have it. And then you have this desire inside of you that says you can have it. There's this voice, which is the Lord himself. The Spirit of God is within you. That's what the scripture tells us. And it is constantly speaking to you about your journey of growing, become better than the best you've ever been. So these, even though it talks about the Lord, Moses, and Mount Sinai, it is speaking of you. You can go to Mount Sinai there and look for that particular pictures. I can guarantee you, if I can be a prophet, I am not one, but I will say you will find nothing there. But if you apply what it says, and if you can recognize that it's about you, everything else changes. Because we're talking about you. It's not about Mount Sinai of some other nature. We're talking about you. So I said there's a Lord. I am, we're told that's I am your awareness. Because I remember Moses asked, who should I say have sent me? And God says, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, God of Isaac. I am forever be known by this name. I am. That's the name of the Lord, actually. Okay. I am. So that's one. And then we're told this Mount Sinai. Sinai. This is you. Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable position. And then there's Moses, drawn out of water, which is physical understanding. And it's becoming a physical understanding for a very simple reason, because the person who drew Moses out of water was the daughter of King Pharaoh. And Pharaoh signify your physical conscious, I mean your awareness of your conditions, your environment is that which rules from a physical plane. Remember, Pharaoh was considered is a king of Egypt, and Egypt was known as to be a place of darkness. That's what it means. That which is black. That's the meaning of Egypt. So it signifies this particular area of ruling that is ruling, not that it is a bad ruling, it rules from a physical appearance. There is no light. And so, therefore, Moses drawn out of water, and this river is the river of light. So it is a combination of this physical darkness with some understanding in it to bring some level of lightness into the matter. And this is the dialogue that is happening, and the instruction is provided in a very simple way. And I'm going to walk that instructions very fast because time is not on my side. We are told, when you enter the land I am going to give you. What is the land that it was going to be given? Today you want something. Earlier I wanted water. Water is the land. The water that I need to drink is the very land that I need to enter. It is that which is promised of me. Some of you want to enter the land of financial freedom. I want to enter the land of financial abundance. Not only freedom, I just want to be in an abundance of it, so that I don't have to think twice when I'm spending here or there. I need to travel with style. I want to live life consistent with my interest in my family. So financial abundance is an area, is the land that I am about to enter. Some of you might be health is the land that you want to enter. Professionalism, or a job that pays more, or a business that gives you the finance success you're looking for. Each and every one of us have a different promised land, or a land that we must enter at each and every particular time of our lives. There are people who have so much financial abundance, but they are looking for a peace of mind. Is the lane they want to enter. Some they are looking for a healthy body. That is the lane they want to enter. So each one of us have a different land in meaning that we want to enter. So we are told, when you enter the land I'm going to give you, the land itself must observe a Sabbath to the Lord. He's simply saying, in order to, when you enter that land, you have to enter into this state of peace. You have to observe this peace. In absence of it, you can never have a year of Jubilee. And we're going to walk you through how to do so. And then he goes and gives us a lot of other things, the seventh year and all of that stuff. But all of those are just color into the story. The real essence there, when you enter the land, you have to observe the Sabbath. That is a very important information. And that's where this framework I call a 3I framework that I have coined becomes at play in order to help you get there. And this framework is nothing more than we have something is called idealization. Idealize. And then the second I is introduce, and the third I is iterate. And all of these I's play a crucial part in explaining this very aspect of the scriptures here. Because of the time, I'm not going to kind of talk a lot about the scriptures it says. I'm just going to kind of walk you or dive you into the three eyes so you can have an understanding how you're going to apply them, because we're talking, this is about practical. You can go to church and you'll get all the Jubilee, and you can read all of that. But today we're talking about practical application where you can learn how to apply this in your own life. So the first part of the scriptures, we're told when you enter the land. So the land must be entered. You cannot, if you're thinking of become successful, if you're thinking of having a breakthrough in your life, you will continue to think and you will never enter that land. And it is no wonder probably today you are where you are, because you keep thinking and planning of entering a particular place, of achieving a particular goal. That as long as you're going to continue to plan and think that goal is something farther away you have to arrive, you will remain in that circle continuously in Mount Sinai. Remember, this conversation is happening in Mount Sinai, but then it is transferred about entering the land. So you have to enter the land in order to experience the year of Jubilee. And how do you enter the land? Thy first eye comes to play. Idealize. Idealize meaning that you're taking something that is not ideal or something that is broken and make it whole. Something that is bruised and make it straight. How do you do this something? How do you take something broken and make it whole? In a very simple way. It is not something physical, it's something mentally. So in idealize process, you say, financial abundance I talked about. So I look and say, okay, what is my pain point? What is my Sinai? I'm at a mountain. Mountain is elevated. So you're elevated in restlessness. You are elevated in your trouble. Your situation continue to get higher and higher. It's the intensity of it is continue to elevate it. So you're on Mount Sinai. So I can say, you know what? I want to go on vacation. I don't want to just go in any vacation. I want to go on vacation with first class. But I'm saying my situation today says I cannot. So that is my pain point. The opposite of it is I have, guess what? The financial resources or abundance that can afford me to go on this vacation first class and without worry. Easy peasy, my friend. Then what I've done, I have idealized. I've taken something that was not possible in my mind and made it possible. I shift my focus. Psychology will tell you that is a very important step in any breakthrough in life. Science, neuroscience tells us that is crucial in any transformation if one wants to achieve. You have to shift your focus. Provided you are focusing on thinking that you have to be somewhere, you will get stuck. You will never find yourself anywhere. So the three eye, we say three eyes. So now we're talking about the first eye is idealized. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Why are you doing this? Idealize. So we idealize. And so by saying that financial freedom is what I'm looking for, guess what? I have done the first part. I have entered the land because my focus is on that land. And there's a very famous scripture says, wherever your feet shall trade, that I will give you also. The feet means understanding. It's a symbol of understanding. So whatever your understanding is, meaning whatever your focus is, that you will have as well. So here, by just using the first I idealize, we are entering the land. But we are told something very interesting. On the verse 3, it says, for 6 years you shall sow the field. For 6 years. 6 means work. God worked for 6 days. Means work. And the work is not about working on a farm or going to work. It's a mental work. So we have idealized, we have to introduce. So the second one is introduce. You have to introduce that which you have idealized. And